Hey guys, my name is Simpzy. How you all doing? Welcome to the start of a brand new Total War Warhammer 3 campaign here today on the channel. We're going to be playing as Kislev, as Tzarina Katarin of the Ice Court. We're playing on the Realm of Chaos campaign, which is essentially the Vortex campaign for Warhammer 3. So, if you like the sound of that, feel free to leave the video a like and subscribe if you are new. We've just wrapped up my Cathay campaign. We've completed it. I think it's time for a new Warhammer series, and I've made the decision to play as Kislev for the first time on the channel. It was a bit of a toss-up between Boris and Consolidating, but I personally believe that Katarin is the best out of the three, followed by Boris and Consolidating. So for this Kislev campaign, I'm going to change my usual battle difficulty in campaign from very hard, just to hard, as Kislev is a harder campaign than Cathay, in my opinion, even though it's recommended as your first campaign. Maybe that's got something to do with just the story element of it. But on the harder difficulties now in Warhammer 3, I don't like being forced to play every single battle. The auto-resolve player bias is kind of crazy, being forced to nearly play every single battle, which I don't like to do. Look, once you've played 7 Rift battles with the exact same army build, I want to try and auto-resolve at least 6 or 7 on them. So I want this campaign to be just a little bit less sweaty. I also hate being forced to go into the Chaos Realms. I'm not the biggest fan of it, as the battles can go for like an hour, and I've sort of already done it. I want to have some fun. I'm really looking forward to Mortal Empires, to be honest. Once that comes out, we can bump things up to very hard, but I've done a full series. Go check out my Cathay playlist, which is like a 15-hour full playthrough, and I basically have to play every single battle. But this time around, I don't want to be playing every single Rift army that comes through. I want to be able to auto-resolve a couple and some of the Chaos Realms and stuff. So that's why I'm changing things to hard, just to make things a little bit more enjoyable on my end of things. Okay, so without further ado, let's continue. Play the intro movie and start the campaign. The Heart of the Bear.
A nation in mourning. False news has arrived before me. They believe Ursun is already dead. My proposition will require a delicate touch. I speak the truth. Your god is not dead. He lies in the realm of chaos, a captive of the Shadow Lord. It is no lie. For one drop of Ursun's blood, I can help you save him.
Choose your last words wisely, old man.
Through your bloodline, you and the bear are one. See past your grief. Search your heart. Ursun is alive.
He speaks the truth. He speaks the truth. Silence! We have lost what is most precious. Many say I am at fault, that I no longer have the right to sit on this throne. So I stand. I stand with my people, all of you. And if it comes to it, I shall die with my people. We have been blinded by grief. Ursun lives, and while he fights to draw breath, we fight for him! For Ursun! For Kislev! For Ursun! For Kislev!
For Ursun! Kislev! For Ursun! For Kislev! For Ursun! For Kislev! For Ursun!
Kislev marches north, into hell.
Our goal is to rescue Ursun, the god-bear of Kislev, from the clutches of Be'lakor. After fraught bargaining, my price is agreed, and I will do all I can to guide the Kislevites to their lost god.
Come then, before I change my mind and cast you into the ice. Advise me.
Your Highness, there are enemies close by that threaten your throne. If we are to save Ursun, they must be dealt with first. The Maelstrom has forced Northmen, worshippers of the Dark Powers, into Kislev lands. They have taken Gerslev. Slay the trespassers. These incursions and the endless winter have sown doubt in the subjects of your burgeoning reign. Followers of the Great Orthodoxy resent your rule. Pacify such malcontents through diplomatic means or martial might. Kostaltin, the supreme patriarch of Ursun's cult, is the instigator of this rebellious feeling. He must be dealt with. If left to fester, it shall cause a schism from which Kislev will never recover. Fortunately, there are allies to be found on our borders, to the west and south. Foster alliances with the Empire and those Kislevite tribes who have always been loyal to your bloodline. There is much to do, Your Highness, if the motherland is to be secured and your god saved. Let us begin.
Okay guys, welcome to the frozen wasteland, which is Kislev. It's a bit of a juxtaposition now, going from Cathay into seeing the crazy landscape and deserts and flowing rivers and the great bastion of that to this sort of desolate wasteland. Kislev is thrown into an eternal winter with Ursun, the bear god, captured, but as we know, who is going to ultimately be killed and is pretty much dead. But here is Tzarina Katarin of the Ice Court. So, start things off, we've got some armoured Kossars. We've also got some Ice Guard as well, some Winged Lancers and a Snow Leopard. So first things first, we have to deal with this first battle to get things underway. A decisive victory in the auto resolve, but we'll manually play this one. So, Kislev as a faction are very good ranged-wise. I'm a big fan of their early Kossar units, so you want to try and get a bunch of them early on, just because they're so cheap and they're so versatile. I did like my Cathay Peasant Bowman quite a bit, as you would know, but I actually think the Kossar variant is quite a lot better. We'll also try and get some Tempest Wizards in as well. And there's a lot to deal with in this Kislev campaign. First of all, we're surrounded by enemies with Throt, Ogres, and various traitorous Kislev clans like the Rotsmen. But here are the armored Kossars with the great weapons. We've got some squats going on here for the boys. But this should be a rather easy battle, nothing too crazy. So just a front line here with our Kossars, our bows in the reserve. We've also got a Snow Leopard and some Winged Lancers as well. But I really do like the aesthetic and some of the look of these Winged Lancer units. But look at this, they look absolutely fantastic. But let's be honest, their stats and their ability on the battlefield are a little bit to be desired. Cavalry is a little bit better in Warhammer 3, but not by much. But here's the Snow Leopard as well. This thing looks really quite cool. That looks crazy. That looks terrifying. Now I'm scared. You sort of have that human jolt when you look at a big cat in the eyes, I guess. Alright, so let's move the Snow Leopard on the left flank while we move our Winged Lancers on the right. I reckon we'll try and target those Warhounds because they're going to be annoying if they can wrap around our units. We'll advance slightly as well. Apparently Katarin is meant to be semi-decent in combat, looking at her stats and traits, but I don't want to be chucking in here too much until she gets a bear mount. But we'll chuck in our Winged Lancers against these horrible hounds. But so far, against them, they're doing alright, which is good. I also got to get used to as well, sort of the difficulty of Warhammer, because just the AI gets so many cheats. Like, you forget that even on normal difficulty, over normal difficulty, the AI just gets leadership and all these, like, crazy buffs per units. Like, going from someone who plays, like, every single historical Total War on hard, like, they nearly need to make it like an elite or maybe an ultra difficulty category for Warhammer 3. Like, that's just my perspective. What difficulty do you guys play on? Let me know in the comments. I wanted to start things off playing on very hard with Cathay. I'm not a legendary player. I'm not a legend of Total War, let's say, but just because I don't like the ability not to save. That's the main thing why I don't play legendary, because it's hard battles in the end anyway. But yeah, I don't know. I think you should be able to save even on legendary, because you can still, essentially what it's trying to do is to stop you save scumming, but you can just save scum anyway going into the data files of the game. Like, it doesn't really make much of a difference, really. But so far we're making quite easy work of this invading force near Cathay. The Warhounds have been depleted, and our archers are getting some shots off as well. But I haven't done a Kislev campaign on the channel. It's a faction I've been really looking forward to. I wanted to play them firstly, but due to the sort of creator rollout, we had to play Cathay first and then work on out. But there's a bunch of campaigns that I haven't done just yet. So I'm super excited to play more on the Realm of Chaos campaign. We've still got all the Chaos gods to play as well, but check out the glorious might of Kislev as their generals coming on here. We've really softened up. The Snow Leopard and the Winged Lancers have taken a bit of a battering, but they've got some pretty decent kills. So just trying to make my Winged Lancers and my Snow Leopard do most of the work for this fight, and let my archers get some shots off and let the melee hold. Tzarina Katarin, she hasn't got too many crazy spells at the moment, but we will be able to get some ice witches in hopefully as we expand and rebuild Kislev, because that's why as well I sort of dropped the difficulty to harder, because what I really love about Total War is empire building, and even to some extent on the harder difficulties for the Realm of Chaos campaign. If you're playing on easy or normal, this isn't a thing, but it's actually kind of disincentivizes you to build empires. You kind of want a small, dense area which you can defend and build up, because just the crazy amount of rifts that come through. Like, we were really struggling at points in that Cathay campaign because of it. But yeah, even after you win the campaign, they still continually despawn. So I do want to try and drop the difficulty down, build a Kislev empire, because that's what I enjoy, building empires in this, which I like Mortal Empires so much. More so than the Vortex campaign. I think most people prefer that. Mortal Empires over the Vortex. But yeah, I want to focus on rebuilding and forging and uniting the Kislev Empire, and sort of not focusing too much on the story and sort of the rift incursions and the chaos realms, which you're kind of forced to. I wish you could kind of turn that stuff off, but hey, we'll try play this game like Mortal Empires essentially until it comes out, which is still a little while away, I would imagine. I don't know. Was it 3 or 5 months when Warhammer 2 came out? I would imagine it's probably on the same time scale. But we've managed to defeat the first army, so I think we need to look eastward rather than west. We've got Throt to the north and some various other Chaos units. We've got a Frost Maiden Tempest, which is good. What are our abilities? Armor, melee... Oh, that's pretty good. That's really good, actually. Melee attack. We could have got some better Winds of Magic reserves, I guess. So we'll move her on in. Tempest over Ice seems to be the meta at the moment on the harder difficulties. But also in the lower difficulties you can kind of roleplay. Like, if you play on easy or normal, it's like you can actually do like a Winged Lancer spam if you really wanted to. Which I don't mind roleplaying in my campaigns as well, from time to time. But it actually makes them worth it, you know what I mean? Alright, so, let's sort of sort out our economy and our buildings, and I guess. So we've got the Ice Court here, so we can get some Frost Maidens and some Ice Witch Lords. I think we'll get some Frost Maidens in next. It's going to cost us quite a bit. Once we get things rolling, Kislev actually has a better economy than Cathay. So tech-wise as well, so we've got the land, Kislev, Erengrad, and then Praag. What do I want to go with first? What's the one that does replenishment? It's this one, +2. Because if you get like a 5 or 7 from battling armies, that's quite a bit. We also can get recruitment as well further on in campaign line of sight. We do want to try and get a recruitment rank. Hooked. Oh, that gives a Kossar unit balance. I think we'll go with the replenishment for now.
We stand against
Okay, so diplomacy-wise, as I was saying, we're at war with a lot of factions. We've got some Norskans to the east, then we've got some Norskan Björnings. We've got Clan Mulder to the north. Oh my god, we've got the Demon Prince. Yeah, it says it's an easy and recommended first campaign. You can get overwhelmed quite a bit. The Demon Prince pushing further south can complicate things and ruin your campaign. Sometimes the Skaven can just rush Kislev itself, and the Rotsman clan, if you don't deal with them, they can gain a decent amount of support. And then also you've got various Norskan raiders looking to take territory from you. So I think what we'll do is we'll probably look to push east into the eastern oblasts. We'll try and keep amicable relations with Consolidating. And we eventually want to try and get Boris as well. I think with the Empire as well, depending on what can happen with them, in my various campaigns, the Empire and the various elector counts can get destroyed by ogres. So I want to try and get some money and trade with them as best as we can. If we might have to betray them. That could be a potential thing. It's also sometimes the vampire counts can take control as well. So I guess we'll continue down the Forge of Souls campaign, if we are going to wrap up the campaign. Alright, so I don't particularly want to get those Kossar spears. I want to try and get a bunch of Kossars early on. So we'll destroy that building. We need money, growth, and maybe some minus construction as well. So I guess we'll go with... We want to eventually get the front 3 here. The tribal encampment, the stall, and that. We want to get to a point where we can get some better quality units. But for now, I'm not even going to use spears. That's just a spare recruitment slot early on. So we'll just min-max that. Right, we'll move to the border. Let's just try and get some Kossar units in, just because they're cheaper. But they're actually not too bad if we can use them effectively. Not the best in order resolve, but early on we're going to have to play nearly every battle anyway. Oh, relief columns. That's quite huge. +2 recruitment capacity. -10 recruitment. Even though the +5 is what we eventually want to have permanently sitting in these Kislev settlements. We'll switch things because we're going to be going on a huge recruitment boom soon. But so far, 6,500 in the treasury. And now we can get another 4 Kossar units as well. And we can continue to grow Kislev. Because we want to try and get it to a tier 4 so we can get those tier 4 buildings. Saliak is the one I like to use the most early on. Because we get the growth and replenishment. And if we start occupying settlements as a blitz, we might be able to change things up to Urson. We'll get Saliak in, and then in a turn we're going to get 4 more units. We've also opened up another slot, and we'll go with the Keepers Guild here. We also want to try and get as many trade resources as well, so we can start trading throughout the Warhammer realm. So we'll burn a turn here just to get 4 more, because this battle can be a little bit difficult, particularly if they build up a couple of units inside. But non-aggression packs will send them out to Stirland and the Elector Counts. I would like to build some outposts in the Empire and vice versa. How cool would it be to see Kislev with like a Hellstorm rocket battery or like a steam tank? That's what I would love to see personally. Okay, welcome to the top of the turn. I think it's time to advance eastward and try and take our first settlement with Tzarina Katarin. We can upgrade to a market as well, which we'll do, because we've only got 1 province. We need to make the most of it for now. So we'll push into the eastern oblast. Now, most of the Rotsman clan actually occupies this territory, so we do have to be a little bit careful and cautious as we progress on in. We've also got our Ice Maiden as well. Got a bunch of Kossars. Not really too much we can do in Kislev itself. And we're now in range to attack. And there's even a mission there, so we should be able to get some funds to sweeten the deal as well. Man, we're just powering through the missions early on as well. So Voltsgrad and a couple of others as well. Yeah, I think focusing on the Horsemen clan is probably the best play for us. So it's a Pyrrhic victory, so even the auto resolves are quite harsh on hard looking overall. The Kossars aren't the best in auto resolve, but we're going to have to play most of the battles manually anyway. So let's continue our war with this Norscan incursion against the Heimlings. Alright, welcome to the siege of Gerslev. Let's take this city back. So, ideally what I want to do is just move my infantry into a front line, then get my Kossars to arc their shots up and over the settlement. I've noticed as well that, like, zooming in, then the frames drop crazy. I don't know why it's doing that. It's a thing I've noticed for Warhammer 3. But here is the city of Gerslev. I just love the sort of Eastern Orthodox cities. It looks quite cool. What I really love about Warhammer as well, you can notice in the background, it's like the height. Like the background's like, it's basically like a painting there, some of the mountains and stuff. It looks glorious. So we'll move my armored Kossars and our Ice Guard there as well. So early on this campaign, we want to be using Kossars, but I don't want to be using them too long. I don't want to be doing Kossar Doomstacks overly for too long, but it's going to be a little while before we get to the stage where we can recruit Ice Guards and some better quality units as well. But early on, we're going to be dealing with Norscan barbarians and various Kislev factions. But you do have to keep a watchful eye on Throt, because sometimes he can rush you because of the player bias and the Demon Prince as well. So that's why, like, I think it's a harder campaign than Cathay, because there's just a lot more major factions in your vicinity. Look, we had massive problems with Zinch and some of the ogres later on in our campaign, but I think Deathmaster Snikic is nowhere near as good as Throt, if I'm being honest, and his Hell Pit seems to be a stronger holdout. So we'll just advance our units here, just a little bit closer. There doesn't seem to be too much crazy architecture that's got like height to block missile shots. So we're going to just try and rely on our Kossars to help us out. We've also got an Ice Witch here as well, Tempest. So we're going to be able to get some bombardment shots off as well. But even our Ice Maidens here are helping on out. There we go, good. We're starting to slowly but surely whittle down some of the Norscan enemy combatants. So I think for early on, what you want to try and do for your Kislev campaign is try and focus on colonizing and conquering the Eastern Oblast. Getting rid of the Rothsman clan as quickly as possible is definitely what I want to be focusing on, because the rifts open up at about turn 30, so we do have to be a little bit conservative in our approach. We do have to be quite, let's say, Johnny on the spot with our conquering. We've got to be quick. We've got to be lightning fast in, because you can overextend yourself as the rifts open, because Tzarina Katarin is the only one, our legendary lord, our faction leader, can be the only one who can venture into the Chaos Realms. Others can close rifts, but she's going to have to be absent for potentially 10 to 8 turns at a time. So we're going to have to get a lot of adequate armies to defend our conquered lands in Kislev. But so far, we've got Kossars arcing their shots up over the top. Also got some Ice Guard as well. They're doing fantastically well. And we are slowly but surely melting away the Norscan marauders inside. Fantastic. Got some bombardment spells going on here as well. So these first two battles, not the most difficult. Just have to be cool, calm, and meticulous in your approach. We might be able to open up an angle here and maybe get my cavalry in. We might. There's going to be a barricade there. They have healed up slightly, but they took a battering last time around. Oh, there we go. Maybe go now, if you can. So, we've actually aggroed them. Are we going to is it going to go through? Oh, okay. I don't know if you're meant to be able to do that with cavalry. Just go under the barricade, but so be it. We'll give chase. Good. My archers aggroed them out, and now we've got my snow leopard and winged lancers helping out as well. But so far, like the peasant bowmen in my series, in my Cathay series, the Kossars are arguably better. They're incredibly effective early on. They're super cheap, and it's going to allow us to build up Kislev to a tier 4 settlement, so we can get better quality units in the end. There's a lot of decent high tier Kislev units, which I can't wait to sink my teeth into. I do want to try and test out the elemental bear. It's quite expensive, but I wouldn't mind doing it at some point. I do want to try and get like an ice maiden army as well, but we'll just have to see how we go. Early on in the campaign, we're going to be able to get away with using Kossars, but as things get into the mid to late game, we're going to have to switch up the army build, bring in more Kossar infantry, some heavy hitters, and then some ice maidens and stuff. Alright, they're out of ammunition. Ice maidens are good. They're nowhere near as insane as the Sisters of Avalon. Missiles are still incredibly effective in Warhammer. The normal variant has been a little bit nerfed, but magical missiles like the Ice Guard and particularly Zinch are still incredibly effective. Alright. So the AI here is just umming and ahhing whether or not to advance. They are defending in this settlement, of course, but they know they're probably going to lose if they go into a hand-to-hand combat battle with my infantry. I want to try and buff my Kossars as well, because they can get caught. So you will need to get melee defense buffs, and you want to increase their damage capacity and their capability of being deadly with longer range and ammunition as well. We're nearly out of ammunition. With our Kossars, that is. Our armoured Kossars have a bit. But yeah, Tzarina Katarin is taking a bit of a beating. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend, if you're playing on hard or very hard, to send her into combat too much until she gets a bear mount. Miao Ying, obviously in dragon form, can tank a lot of these earlier starting faction battles. She's actually really quite insane, Miao Ying. She's actually awesome, particularly against these sort of Norscan units and early Cathay units. But it's interesting, as the campaign progresses to the mid to late game, you're actually nearly more, once she unlocks more spells and you get more winds of magic under your control, you're actually better making her more of a replenishment / supporting character, which I found in my survival battles. But a close victory there, supposedly. I think that's a little bit harsh, seeing we lost 215, we knocked out 1,000 of them. But looking at the casualties sustained and inflicted, check out this. The Kossars, some of them, even outperformed the Ice Guard, which is quite insane. Looking at just a simple cost-based analysis, early on, you're better off getting more Kossars, even with the magical missile buffs of those other units. Alright, so we've pushed into Gerslev, and what we want to do as well, we want to try and focus and get as many Orthodox shrines, particularly in this Eastern Oblast region, as we do want to try and beat Kastalten at every point. The first point you can lose. Look, we'll try our best. The thing is, we need to be conquering, so we need replenishment, but we also need to continue our orthodoxy preaching, essentially, our devotion. We need to try and get as much of it as we can. I think if you lose the first one, it's only about you lose like 2,000 gold, which isn't too insane, as long as you don't lose the main one. But We will try and confederate with Consolidating at some point. It just depends if he lasts, because sometimes he can just get smashed by the Demon Prince. Like, sometimes in Warhammer, you can actually put yourself at a disservice and a disadvantage confederating with factions. There were a couple of sketchy confederations I did with Cathay. Let's be honest. There were some that were probably not towards my advantage, but we've got more territory to the east now, and it's fully under Rotsman control. The thing is as well, the Rotsman clan, you've really got to not underestimate them, as they themselves have, what, 5 regions to start off with, which is quite insane. I think we'll go with pirate weapons. Yeah, because we want the Kossar ammunition, don't we? And then we want defense later on. I think buffing them, there is, of course, more recruitment capacity, but I don't know if we overly need. We're only making 500 per turn, so we haven't got the biggest economy net yet to need more recruitment. Like, we haven't got a secondary army. I might do that, actually. Let's get some ogre balls just to change up the diversity of this army. 500, and also, in an auto resolve, they're probably going to get taken out anyway, so that's not too bad. Okay, let's continue upon the initiative. We've got some more Kossars coming in before we end the turn, and we push towards Igorov. Will the Rotsmen attack us during the end-turn phase? No. We do have to be careful, but we do want to try and take as many of their territory out as possible. But they will send a reprisal force, you would imagine. I think going... I think biting wind is probably the play. Alright, let's push on in. We've got a full stack now under our control. Oh, we've got some ogres, and they do have a military force north. Okay, a close victory. We're going to have to manually play this one as the Kossar units. Yeah, essentially this Kislevite army is going to be a lot better quality than those Norskins, so we're definitely going to have to play this one, and we might have more losses than about 200. We'll just have to see how we go, eh? Let's load on in to the Battle of Igorov. 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 I think that's how you say it. A little bit complicated. I'm not Russian. I don't know how to speak Russian. What's the best way to attack? When I approach a battle, I just try to see which is the shortest distance to the town square if we need to push and take it. Also, you got to keep an eye on your army build as well. Obviously, we're going for a very heavy Kossar archer unit, so heavily unit army. So you want to be able to arc your shots well up and over the enemy settlement with like minimal obstruction, because sometimes the architecture in the city can really put you at a disservice. Sometimes, or there's like mounds and stuff. There's like cliffs and stuff. So I think this is probably the best side. We've got some ogre balls as well. I don't know how good they're going to be able to do, but hey, if they're available, we've got the cash money. Why not? Alright, let's target that arrow tower, because that thing is going to rip through us. Oh my god, I probably didn't need to commit a full nearly 9-unit volley there. Wow, we just wiped that thing out. Massively awesome. This is our first fight against some fellow Kislevites. Let's see how the Rotsman clan do. I will be keen and ready to throw in my ogre balls, my wing lancers, and my snow leopard if need be. Okay, so we're actually going to advance here. Now, we should be able to use some of this defensive settlement to our advantage here. If we can hug our melee infantry and hug them right at that lip, that might be perfect for me, because they're not going to be able to get hit by arrow fire. And if we ever do get charged by enemy Rotsman combatants, we can quickly swing them around to help on out. So we'll try and get all of my archers to focus on at least a couple units, but we might have to focus on one if we need. But oh my god, we have just absolutely vaporized that one unit there. My god. The Rotsmen have maybe bitten off a little bit more than what you can shoot. So I think early on in your Kislev campaign, focus on the horsemen. Try and take them out as quick as possible. We might have to deal with those ogres as well. We're not at war with them. We haven't got any relations with them, thankfully, so we're probably just going to get rid of them as well. And then you've got to focus on the various Norscan tribes to the north. Throt. And of course, the Demon Prince. But yeah. You just got to be wary as well. The Demon Prince and Throt can sometimes rush Kislev, which is super annoying, particularly in the harder difficulties. As like there is a human auto-resolve bias, making auto-resolves a lot harder than what they should be. The AI factions as well do target the human player, so that is some tips and words of advice by me. Alright, so unfortunately one of my armoured Kossar Great unit weapons has been taken out. But we'll try and trade with some Winds of Magic. But if we can try and take as many of these units out as we can, we're going to have an easier time marching up to the pinnacle and taking the settlement. But so far, a lot of unit and army variety within Kislev, which is cool. You fight Norskins, you fight other Kislev factions, you have the threat of chaos and Skaven as well. Maybe even vampires to the south as well. So we'll get rid of the Rotsman clan. We'll try and confederate and make amicable relations with any other Kislev faction, because we do want to try and confederate at some point. We're just struggling to get some shots off here, so I'm just going to reform the archers to the left-hand side here. Yep, try and hit that unit, because that unit is actually whittling me down a bit. There we go, now we're trading properly. Oh, no! Ah, damn it! I've done a bit of a misplay there. And I'm going to have to spam some Winds of Magic to get us out of it. Because I just want to speed things up with my archers, because nothing tactically crazy is too going on. They're just dispensing their archer ammunition. A cavalry unit charged me pretty hard there. Oh no, we've got one Kossar unit retreating. Hey, we got victory. Perfect. Alright, another close victory. So how many did we lose this time around? Is it under 200? Oh, just over. Yeah, well that just shows you the slight unit quality of Kislev compared to Norscan, because we can shred through them. But this time around, the Kossars overall got more between them. But one of the other arch units did quite well. Anyway, we're taking our second settlement now. Volskreich has an army, and then we're quite close to their region capital. I think we need to push for Fort Jakovia. Do we have any more stuff? No. So magic items and ancillaries, we still need to get a decent pile of them up. You can also sell them in Warhammer 3. Sold a bunch of them in my Kislev campaign when we started racking them up. Okay, Katarin, she's got a skill point to use. I do want to try and get her with a bear mount at some point. I also do want to try and get lightning strike as well. We'll just go with that. That's fine by me. I think I'm going to actually merge my units, because it's actually going to be quicker for us to recruit. We've got the money. We've got a bunch of money for it. I don't want to wait for the automatic replenishment, because we got to, like I said, we got to be Johnny on the spot, moving about our territory. We can't be too lackadaisical. All right, welcome to the top of the turn. Turn 7 now. Another mission. We have 3,100 in the bank. We've got some ogres here as well. They are raiding, but some of them are encamped. They're going to be more annoying later on if... who's nearby? Scrag. Scrag is sort of southwest somewhere. He's towards the Empire, isn't he, more so? Got to watch out for him. He can be a nuisance to the mid to late game. We dealt with his ogre counterpart, Grease's Goldtooth, which... yeah, definitely the two that made me struggle the most in that Cathay campaign. Whew. the Ogre Greasus and Zinch were super annoying. Ah, plus a decent amount of relations there with the Enclave. Oh, we can upgrade Kislev as well to a tier 3. That's pretty early on. That just shows you how quick you can grow up Kislev. So Fort Jakovia, yeah, it's a close victory again. But the thing is, it's going to be the exact same battle. I'm going to auto-resolve this one. This is why I dropped the difficulty, so we're going to be able to do that. But they're going to target the ogres, which is fine by me. I would rather them take out that unit than hurt a lot of the archers, to be honest. Okay, so unfortunately Kostaltin is a little bit ahead of me. As long as we get there before him at the end so we can confederate with him, it's not too bad. Yeah, we could have got more devotion with those armies, I guess. But I chose to go with the replenishment. Ursun's protection, missile resistance. We are fighting a lot of Kislevite factions that will have ammunition, not so much for the Norscan, so maybe we'll look to that eventually, but I think going with Frost Death, getting the direct damage spell there, making that a 2 is probably the play. We've still got one more skill point to spend as well, so maybe we'll go with the protection. We can get more Ogre Mercenaries, that's because of that encampment there. Maybe going with that, actually, getting the leadership. We'll eventually get some anti-corruption and minus recruitment debuffs as well. Alright, so we've nearly got the Eastern Oblast under our control. We've got some ogres here that we're going to have to deal with, I think. But, yeah, so far, just want to have a quick look at the quick deals. We're doing alright. Everything is coming up. Kislev. Tier 3 settlement. And nearly got the Eastern Oblast under Tzarina Katarin's control. Hell yeah. Alright. So I guess we make our way to Volsgrad. I think leaving the ogres here, although they're only taking like 50 gold from me, they're putting the public order down, so we're going to have to deal with them. And we've got a mission over there as well for the Rotsman clan, not the ogres. So it's now their turn to continue. They might... Oh, they might move away, but they've one move somewhere. I don't know where. Frostfang weapon gained. Cool. That's quite decent. Oh, we've also got more additional ammunition for those Kossar units. Perfect. Well, we'll chuck that into Tzarina Katarin. And maybe getting the melee defense. I have been keeping my eye on that. We've got the replenishment. We've got the additional weapon buff. Yeah, +4 defense for Kossar unit. Yeah, Kossar units.
The great orthodoxy provides.
Cool. Let's just have a quick look at diplomacy. We haven't got some weird negotiations with them, you know what I mean? Like sometimes the AI did that, not me. Anyway, we're going to trade with Sterling there. They're not allied with like the Brotherhood of the Bear or something, because that would complicate things. Okay. I think we upgrade Fort Jakovia. You want to upgrade the one that's probably going to get attacked more so than anything. So we'll upgrade Fort Jakovia. I think Gerslev, if it ever gets attacked, we'll be able to get reinforcements from Kislev. Okay, so it's the Rock Skull. So we've got no relations with them whatsoever. We'll just declare war and get rid of them. We might actually have to play because fighting ogres is, the auto-resolve can be quite harsh. Ogres, I think, and Zinch are one of like the two harder factions to verse if you're playing as Cathay or Kislev, for example. But no, we actually got quite a favourable auto-resolve, which is brilliant. Alright, sweet. Yeah, he's still a little bit ahead of me. It's not too detrimental if you missed the first one. I can't even remember it off the top of my head. Is it 3,000 gold you miss out on? Maybe 2. I can't remember. It's not that big of a deal. As long as you win overall towards the end. Anyway, let's end the turn, continue. Oh! Oh, hang on. The Rotsman clan might actually attack Kislev. We've had a chaos incursion there to the south. A bunch of silver chevron beastmen. Ah, so there's their full stack. Yeah. So I was banging on about Kislev getting attacked by Throttle the Demon Prince. Or maybe Scrag. It's actually the Rotsman this time. So that's why we have to be quite quick taking their territory in the east. Okay, I think I'm going to be able to basically beat that army if it does attack Kislev. The garrison's strong enough. But anyway, we'll get rid of these beastmen rebels here, which should be quite easy to deal with. First time fighting the beastmen in a while, though, to be honest. Yeah, you've also got to be careful with Kislev as well for the other various chaos incursions that can come up. Kind of like the Great Bastion mechanic. The Great Bastion can get attacked and units can spawn sometimes. It can complicate things if you don't actually control it. But an open field battle, which should be fun. Let's see how the beastmen go. Now, they are silver chevrons, they are quite strong. Oh, okay. They look a little bit different. Maybe have been slightly corrupted by Slanesh there with the purple. And they've got their Bray Shaman further at the back. Now, we're not going to be able to get too much line of sight on them, which will be annoying. So we might have to advance with our Snow Leopard and winged lancers. Because essentially, being able to hide themselves within the line of sight is the beastman's prerogative, basically. Look at this, we only can see a couple of them there. So we might just have to sort of drop some spells into that cluster, because we know they're probably there. Move you further back. Let's get the winged lancers on the right to move on out. Yeah, so now that we're actually hitting these Ungor infantry, it makes things a bit better. Yeah, look at this. We're ripping through them now that we can actually damn see them. I just want to wait for the winged lancers to open up an angle before we push on in. They're actually wrapping around me, which is slightly annoying, but we've still got a fair few infantry with great swords. And Corsairs with shields as well. That Snow Leopard is really quite low, so we're going to have to maybe kite that unit that's coming out towards them. We'll drop some direct damage there as well. Rushing me is quite interesting that they've gone and done that. Yeah, just continue to get the Snow Leopard out. There we go, that should be a decent charge, even though they're spearmen. The Ungor bowmen and spearmen aren't the best. Yeah, but even with like that, not the biggest fan of the winged lancers. They just should be a little bit more impactful, a little bit more hard-hitting. But you don't want to get to a point where they're just like way too overpowered. Like cavalry can sometimes be in Attila and other Total Wars. Like, you want them to be on the level of like Cataphractari. That'd be awesome if they were like that. Like, you'd think that they'd need to have some of the best cavalry in the game. Apart from like Gelt maybe. And some of the cavalry units he could yield. Okay, so the left-hand side here is complicating things. I know I've said not to chuck her in, but I think she'll be okay in melee combat this time around with just some beastmen. We'll bring in the Snow Leopard now as well. That actually kited a unit out, which is quite effective. But yeah, just because of these various chaos incursions, you can be distracted from defending your regions and your region capital from time to time. Right, let's just try and run down as many of them as we can, because it can be annoying running down enemy units that escape in your lands. I can't wait until I get access to the mod workshop. There's a couple mods that I'm looking forward to. Essentially having the ability to have more movement points within your own territory. I like that mod a lot, because sometimes you can spend 3-4 turns running down an army that keeps on escaping, which is so annoying. I really think there should be a movement bonus within your own territory. Obviously external territory I disagree with, because it would just allow you to conquer and grab too much territory too quickly. But sometimes the raiding and harassing and kiting of your armies in your own territory can be so annoying. But yeah, I'm pretty sure modders have got access to the game like a little bit earlier to get their banner mods and stuff. Yeah, I really can't wait to see the modding communities, well, work in Warhammer 3. Alright, so we've dealt through the sort of early Norscan incursion. We've taken a massive chunk of the Rotsman clan, and now we're dealing with some Beastmen and Chaos forces as well. But we've managed to get a decisive victory there, which is perfect. And we only lost 20. Whew, that was our best battle that we've had so far. Oh my god. They outnumbered us by 200, deploying 1,600. And they got smashed. The poor Beastmen venturing into the lands of Kislev. They might have had a better time down in Reichland, but now in the frozen north, we've shown the Beastmen the the prowess of Tzarina Katarin, the Ice Queen. Oh, so they did run away slightly. Let's hope, did we destroy them, or do we have to continue to run them down? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, sometimes you're out of that zone of control, which is annoying. Anyway, 2 battles there, I guess. Oh, the Snow Leopard got defeated anyway. Well, that's annoying. The auto-resolve, man, can be quite harsh. But to be fair, I didn't really rate the Snow Leopard that highly. It was going to happen at some stage. Because, look, I don't know. Some people like playing. I don't like playing every single battle personally. I like to play... Like, the thing is with, like, I don't like playing the exact same battle twice often. Like, if it's got the exact same army build and the exact same battle map, I don't like playing it for a second time. Because it just adds nothing new, you know what I mean?
It is mine.
I got way more Total War campaigns, way more other battles than I can look forward to. Alright, we're going to have to double back now. I'm trying to think, do we just continue in the Eastern Oblast, or will we need help? We're only 2 turns away, so that's 1 being under siege, 1 being taken. We might need to get an army in there. We've got the money for it. Or should I make it in Gerslev? Because then we're going to be able to recruit and get there. But having an additional lord in Kislev actually might turn the tide. Because quite often you win battles depending how many lords you have there. Like, you can really lose easy battles if they've got like 4 lords. This is facing the enemy AI, by the way. That's why it's so tricky when you're fighting an army that's in the garrison, then outside, and then obviously the garrison. So yeah, if you ever aggressively attacking an enemy fortress and there's 2 armies plus the garrison, it can really quite complicate things. So what I'll do, we might be able to get the turn off. You never know, they might not attack during the end turn phase. They are in a forced march, and they did, so it doesn't matter. They did, damn it. So that means they've stopped the recruitment. I'm pretty sure they come first as well in the turn time. Sometimes you can get that off if you're lucky. So if we were to attack, we can't get an easy auto-resolve. I was just curious to see, because sometimes you can get lucky, and you might be able to auto-resolve it then rather manually play it. Because there are times when you're actually better to, depending on the units, depending on the battlefield conditions, sometimes you are better off to auto-resolve than actually manually play it, looking at a casualty and sustained and inflicted cost-based analysis. Okay, so they might very well attack soon. We've still got to do with the motherland as well. Got to keep an eye on that. He's not too far ahead of me. We just haven't got the coin of the devotion. We are currently building Orthodox churches as well wherever we can. So once we start taking more land than him, we're eventually going to beat him anyway. I can upgrade the settlements. Let's do that. I think Gerslev is probably fine. They haven't got too many infantry though, but they've stopped the recruitment there. They might attack this turn, you never know. Military access. So 75 friendly. Yeah, these are the guys that we're really quite friendly with the Enclave. So we might be able to confederate with them shortly. Oh my god, thankfully they didn't attack. That's perfect. One of us getting some leadership bonuses there. Oh, so that means... Oh, she's not... I was going to say she... Oh, actually, she might be in range if we attack, actually. Let's upgrade that. I'll usually convert that to a shrine, but getting the devotion is going to work. They ran away. Cowards! Oh, it's so annoying. We wasted like 4 turns going down there. I'll sign a military pact, a military access pact with Sterling though. Oh, that's super annoying. Well, I guess we'll try and give chase. They've probably only got 2 settlements left, Praag and Volsgrad.
Ice Queen of Kislev.
Damn, we nearly caught them there as well. Maybe I should have attacked in hindsight. Oh no, they're here. We might be able to give chase. We'll get one more across our unit. And we'll try and get a couple more there as well. Yeah, no, getting it from the global isn't going to really help. So we've gone through the early buffs. Maybe getting some more better frost maidens in.
The great orthodoxy provides.
Okay, anything else here? Confederations and military access still a while away. Brotherhood of the Bear. 2 in there in the north. Yeah, we could make some diplomatic sways towards them, but you never know. They're quite small, so we might just attack them. We'll see how we go. I could go force march and try and encourage them to an attack. No, I'm just going to take the units. What are they going to do? They're going to push to Volsgrad or Prague? Okay, so I want to try and get the entire region of the Eastern Oblast, but we might be a bit off to go to the capital, Prague. Yeah, let's try and get the Patriarch in. Because 30 devotion ain't much, but he'll be quite good. We do want to try and get us... Yeah, we do want to try and get more agents at some point. I just haven't got the money for him just yet. To get like 3-4 agents per army, because they're quite good. We actually get some hunting furs in, so we can get more trade. Quite useful. But anyway, I think... it's time to wrap things up. Played for about an hour here today. We've made a really decent dent into the campaign. 14 turns in. We've managed to nearly destroy the Horsemen clan. They've only got 2 settlements left, so we've got to make a decision. Let me know in the comments. Should I push towards their capital? They've probably got less of an army there than in Volsgrad, but yeah, we've got a decision to make. Unless we can intercept the army on the way there. They just seem to be a little bit ahead of us, which is annoying. But thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed episode 1 of my Total War Warhammer 3 Kislev campaign as Tzarina Katarin of the Ice Court. We've done really quite well. We've conquered territory smart, quick and effective. The Horsemen clan are on the back foot, and we haven't seen a sight of the Demon Prince or Throt or the Skaven just yet. We had a close encounter with a siege of Kislev that never went through. I was kind of hoping, because it spawns an elemental bear. I think there's a couple units that I haven't used in this campaign, which is still going to be ages. Maybe like 40-50 turns before we get access to actually manually recruit them once we build our settlements up a bit. But thanks for watching. Hope this Let's Play video has helped you out in some tips and tricks in your own campaign. But yeah, stay tuned for more Kislev videos on the channel. Got a bunch of Warhammer 3 content coming out over the days, weeks and months. And I can't wait to play more of this Kislev campaign. Alright guys, take care. I'm going to play the outro now. Goodbye. Unfortunately, it's time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Check out my social media links in the description below if you want to stay connected with me. I also want to say thank you to this month's patrons and channel members: Victor K, Sebastian C, Jordan K, Caesar L, Brian S, Tao, Lion B, Kyle P, Tom C and White P. My name has been Simpzy. Much love from Australia. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.